God has a word for us today. If you're dealing with a wayward child, a child who is rebellious, and I mean, not, a child, but even that child that says, I'm an adult, I'm 18, I'm 20, and you can't tell them anything anymore because they know everything, even though you've lived their life at least 2 times over. If you're dealing with a wayward child or a rebellious child, God wants you to know that you are not alone. He wants you to know that He cares about what's going on, and that as long as you have trained your child in the way that they should go, when they are old, they will not depart. There's always, as long as we are breathing, there is always time for this child to get on board, for this child to turn around, for this child to bring you joy and not grief. You can have this beautiful little baby and they grow up and they have their own ideas, which is fine, but they think they know more than they know. They think that the consequences of things that you speak about, you have no idea about. There was a time when they hung on your every word, but now they barely want you to say anything to them. God is in control. He knows what you're going through. He sees what's happening in your life with your child. He knows. He knows the feeling. He knows the desperation. He knows the despair that you're experiencing right now. And I've got a couple of things that I think anyone going through this situation should do. First, pray. Pray without ceasing. Don't stop praying for your child. Dedicate your child to the Lord if you haven't already, and leave it with Him. Find yourself a prayer partner, somebody that will join with you to pray to the end of what it is you want to happen with your child. Go to the elders of the church. Put in a prayer request, because there's power in prayer, but then there's power in prayer when we all join together. And another thing I want to say is that if you have this child, like I said, a child or an adult, and you have you and your spouse, or you and your partner, you and the person that you're parenting this child with, make sure you come together on it, because the enemy wants to use this situation, this strife, to create more chaos in your life. So whatever you do, you all come up with a plan how to attack this thing, and make sure that you don't fight each other, because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants to take your child, disobedient, rebellious, can't tell you nothing. If you're dealing with that, come together. Come together with the person that you created this child with, raising this child with. And you all take time and just put your heads together, hold hands, and ask God to step into the situation, rebuke the enemy and what he's trying to do with your child, what he's doing with your child, and what he's trying to do to your family. I want you to know that, like I said, you are not alone. It is not over. It is not hopeless, even when it feels like it, even when your prayers aren't answered immediately. God is on the throne. He made you. He made me. He made this child that we're speaking about. This adult child that won't listen, can't be told anything. Let God step in. Say what you have to say, but when you have to back up off of it and just let this child see, let this child see what's really real about life, what's really real about the world they live in. If they don't appreciate everything that you're doing for them, all that you're providing for them, give them a minute to see. My husband says I'm too soft on our kids, and because he's the heavy usually, and I have my moments when I agree with him, and there's a time and season for everything. I'm their mother, so in a lot of situations I do feel that it is my job to bring the kindness, the softness. But even with that, they need to know when they step across a line, as far as disrespect or anything, that I don't stand for it either. Because also too, love is correction. Love is not just, oh, you did a good job and mommy loves you from here to the moon, here to heaven and back. Love is letting you know where to get on and where to get off. Love is, hey, you're messing up. You need to get it together. You need to get in line before, like I said, before life teaches you a lesson that you'll wish it hadn't, and you'll wish you had listened to the people who have wisdom in your life. Like I said, God is with us. He's with mothers who are trying to figure it out. He's with parents who are struggling to make the right impression upon their kids. Sometimes you've done everything that you can. You've led your children to the Lord, and sometimes they want to pick something else. Sometimes they go with the world. And as a person who loves Christ, that's a very heartbreaking thing. But remember that as long as there is breath in your body, as long as God is waking them up, it can turn around. I've seen it happen. Joy comes in the morning. Don't stop praying. Don't give up on your child. Don't give up on the situation. Stay focused. Keep praying. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, be sweet, be grateful, and stay optimistic.